going on? Adrian Fedkiw from the Bitter Birds here. Got another edition of the NFL Wraparound this week. Week 2 recaps. Yeah. We're already done 2 weeks in the NFL season. How about that? But before I get started, I do want to send out my thoughts and prayers to anyone involved in the shooting at the Washington Navy Yard. Obviously, horrible tragedy. Something this country has had to deal with too much of recently, to be honest with you. But, so on to football. And the first team we will start with is the Washington Redskins. And how bad is it in Washington? Well, it's pretty bad. The Skins were down 26-7 at the half against Philly and trailed 24-0 at the break against Green Bay. That's a 43-point gap. Yeah, it's simple. Robert Griffin right now does not look comfortable on that knee. He looks hesitant, pushing off of it. His footwork is way out of whack. His accuracy is diminished. And you know what? To be honest with you, it was something that I somewhat expected. As a guy that's gone through multiple knee surgeries, let me tell you, when you come back, you kind of think twice before you do things. You're not thinking, right? You're always thinking instead of doing. You're always thinking about how you're going to cut on that knee or where you're going to go. And yeah, it can be hard and mentally. So, obviously he's been through this before. He had an ACL tear before. He got through it, and now he's got it again, and he's going to try to, get through it again. So we'll see if he can do it. And Washington's defense so far has been a complete disaster. This secondary hasn't stopped anybody the first 2 games. So much for getting Brian Arakpo back, huh? And as for Aaron Rodgers for Green Bay, he threw for a career-high 480 yards and 4 touchdowns. 38-20 wins. So just dominant all the way around for Green Bay. The next game we're going to talk about here, for a second straight meeting in Seattle, the Seahawks had the 49ers number. After blowing them out 42-13 in Week 16 last year, Seattle again crushed its NFC West counterparts. This time a 29-3 triumph, and it was a 5-0 game at halftime. Really defensive struggle. Both teams couldn't move the ball, and then, Marshawn Lynch got going in the second half. Ran for, actually accumulated 135 total yards, scored 3 times. Dominant display against the best rush defense in football, at least in my opinion, and in a lot of people's opinions. And let me tell you, the Seattle defense, it made a statement of its own. It flustered and frustrated Colin Kaepernick all night long. He had his worst performance as a pro. I believe he threw 3 interceptions or something like that. Richard Sherman was everywhere in the secondary, and that Seahawks secondary, it's the best in the league for a reason. It's really good, and they did it again. They frustrated the Niners, and they're 2-0, and the Niners are 1-1. So it's the Niners having to play catch up. And let me tell you something about Frank Gore so far. He's been a total non-factor. He's averaging 2 yards a carry. He had 16 yards on 9 carries Sunday night. So obviously, it's just 2 games, but the offensive line is better than this. Frank Gore is better than this. And, I think they'll turn the run game around. That's the staple of Jim Harbaugh's offense. So, yeah. Off to Kansas City. How about the Chiefs? Off to a 2-0 start, coming off a 17-16 win over the Dallas Cowboys. It's amazing what happens when you don't turn the ball over. And an interesting thing about KC this year, it brought Chris Salt to the coaching staff. He's the originator of the pistol offense. And, I watched the first half of this game, and I saw Alex Smith run the ball in the first half as if he was back at Utah. He must have had like 10 carries in the first half. He kept it a lot. And, good day on the ground. Great day for the Chiefs. Andy Reid, fisting it up. He's getting excited, and the Chiefs are 2-0. So how about that? Moving on to Chicago. 31-30 win for the Bears over the Vikings. Jay Cutler, again, with heroics in the second half, in the fourth quarter. And the big weapon so far for Chicago has been Martellus Bennett. Last year, the only really receiving threat they had was Brandon Marshall. And, Matt Forte was he's a threat out of the backfield, but in terms of receiving threats, pure receiving threats, Brandon Marshall is the only one. And now you got Martellus Bennett. And he's already matched the touchdown total by all the combined tight ends that played for Chicago last season. So you can see right now how, drastic of a difference Bennett is, the differences they're seeing already with him. So in their offense. Let's see, other games. Oh, Patriots and Jets. This will be the worst NFL game of the season. I thought Dallas and New York was bad in week 1, but this one, oh my goodness. Nobody could catch the ball. Clyde Gates couldn't catch the ball. Aaron Dropson couldn't catch the ball. Man, Patriots can't get Gronk back soon enough. I mean, I'll tell you what. If you're in a fantasy league, go get Tom Brady right now. Because his stock's never going to be as low as it is right now. Go get him. Because I think once he gets Gronk back and he gets Amendola, he'll be all right. I still think this is an 11-win team. It's the New England Patriots. This is what they do year in and year out. They win 11 games. Will it be a Super Bowl contender? Probably not. I don't see them getting to the AFC Championship game this year. They could possibly get to the divisional playoffs, but I don't see a Super Bowl appearance or a championship game in the cards this year. All right. Next game. San Diego, Philadelphia. San Diego 33-30 winners. If you want more on that game, tune into our podcast. Atlanta, St. Louis. Not too much to talk about here. Atlanta got off to a roaring start. Matt Ryan throws for 374 yards and 3 more touchdowns. Julio Jones, 182 yards receiving. Easy, comfortable win for the Falcons. The Rams kind of made a play at it late, but, it was never in doubt. Never in doubt. Miami is 2-0. The Dolphins. And let me tell you, they got a big game coming up this Sunday at home against Matt Ryan and the Atlanta Falcons. Look for them to be 3-0. And, this was a big preseason sleeper for a lot of people. Obviously this is a great defense that Miami has. Offensively, Ryan Tannehill. I'll tell you, I wasn't big on Tannehill coming out of college, but, he looks good so far. I mean, he broke Dan Marino's rookie record in his first season, and now he's doing it again right now. So, Dolphins are 2-0. Probably going to go. They might go 3-0. Will they win the AFC East? Probably not. I mean, let's face the facts. Could they go 9-7 and possibly sneak a wild card? Yeah, sure. Why not? But for all the people that are hopping off the Patriots bandwagon right now, don't you worry. They're still going to finish first in the AFC East. Going back to the Patriots, I did want to make this point because this is a team that got to the Super Bowl with the worst defense in the NFL. And now their defense is one of their strengths. But because their offense is bad, everyone's counting them out already. So, yeah, I just can't count out a Bill Belichick coached team. Just can't. Can't do it. All right. Baltimore 14, Cleveland 6. This actually, crazy news today Trent Richardson gets traded to the Indianapolis Colts. I mean, I don't know what Cleveland's doing, unless they're just convinced that Trent Richardson's going to be a bust. I mean, the third overall pick, and you trade him for a first-round pick that's probably going to be, I don't know, a mid to late round pick. I don't know, Cleveland. What are you doing down there? What are you doing? Oh, man. So I guess they're already trying to get ready for Teddy. Yeah. I guess they're already done with Brandon Weeden. Go get Teddy. Teddy Bridgewater, of course. All right. Oh, Houston, for a second straight week, it comes back to defeat another opponent. This time they take down the Titans 30-24 in overtime. Andre Johnson, the story of this game was that he suffered a concussion, and it's unclear whether he's going to play this week for the Texans. But, again, they rallied from a 21-7 deficit in their first game against San Diego, and now they come back and they do it again, and they're 2-0. So Houston finding ways to win. Arizona 25, Detroit 21. Who cares about this game, really? Calvin Johnson had a big game. He scored twice, had 116 yards receiving. But these two teams, they're just 6-7 win teams. Not really a big deal here. New Orleans beats Tampa Bay 16-14. This was an interesting game because Drew Brees, he had a field day last year against the Bucs secondary. This secondary was, one of the worst. Actually, it was statistically the worst in football last year. But they signed Darrelle Revis. They bring Deshaun Goldson in here. They draft a cornerback, Jonathan Banks, not Jonathan Banks, Jonathan Banks from Mississippi State. And now they're calling that, the stadium there in Tampa Bay, the no-fly zone. Tampa Bay took a 14-13 lead in this game. Off an interception return for a touchdown, Drew Brees. But unfortunately, with a minute left, Brees did it again, led the comeback, and they won by a field goal, or they won by 2 on a late second field goal. All right, only got a couple minutes left. How bad does Pittsburgh look right now? Oh, that team is in shambles. That offensive line is a mess. Cincinnati, 20-10 winners there. Denver, they kicked the shit out of the Giants, 41-23. A game, for a second straight game, Denver trailed at halftime, but again, a big second half propels them to a victory. So, and the last game, Oakland beat Jacksonville 19-9 in the Who Gives a Shit game of the week. So, yeah, that's it for this week. I am Adrian Fedkiw. Tune in later tonight. We are doing a show, a podcast. I am waiting for Mike Owens to get back from his date. He's out on a date with a girl. Unfortunately, I am sitting here watching Tampa Bay and Texas playing baseball while he's out on a date having fun. Hopefully he gets lucky. But other than that, I'm Adrian Fedkiw. I'm out of here. See ya.